It's pretty wild to think about, but did you know that the way you sleep tonight could actually be aging your body? I mean, literally stealing years from your heart, your brain, and even your independence? It sounds almost crazy, right? But it turns out the problem might not be how long you're sleeping, but how you're sleeping. So today, we're going to break down 8 different positions, 4 common habits you'll definitely want to avoid, and then 4 simple adjustments that can make a world of difference. All right, let's get right into it. So, let's just put the question out there, point blank. Is your sleep position secretly aging you? Well, according to some really eye-opening research from the National Institute on Aging, it seems that certain sleeping positions can either heal your body or slowly, night after night, break it down. And the scary part is, a lot of us are using the wrong ones every single night and have absolutely no idea. And believe me, the stakes here could not be higher. We're talking about a more than 60% increased risk for some of the most serious health issues we face as we get older, things like stroke, memory loss, chronic pain. And what's so fascinating, and a little bit sneaky, is how these huge risks are tied to the positions that, well, often feel the most comfortable. Okay, so first up, let's dive into the 4 worst sleeping positions. Now, these are the ones that are super common, the habits that feel so good in the moment, but they can cause some really serious damage over time. It's a classic case of how comfort can be, well, pretty deceiving. All right, first on the list, the stomach sleeper. You know the one, lying face down, maybe with your arms tucked under the pillow. For a lot of people, this feels like the only way they can finally relax and drift off. But that comfort? It's really just a silent strain on the most fragile parts of your body. Just take the story of Mr. Harold, a 72-year-old retired carpenter. He told his doctor, look, this is the only way my back feels like it can finally relax. But what he had no idea about was that this exact position was quietly damaging his neck and his spine every single night. And his story really highlights the danger here. See, according to the American Chiropractic Association, when you turn your head to the side for hours at a time, you're twisting your neck. This can actually cut off blood flow and pinch your nerves. In fact, a geriatric sleep specialist, Dr. Emily Rhodes, she calls it the most aging position for the spine because it just accelerates all that wear and tear on your vertebrae. Okay, next up, we've got the fetal curl. It's a position that feels so familiar, right? Almost childlike. So many of us curl up into a tight little ball, knees drawn up to our chest, and it just feels safe, like you're protected from everything. But that feeling of safety, yeah, it comes at a price. Take Mrs. Eleanor, a 68-year-old grandmother. She said it felt like she was cradling herself to sleep. But after years and years of waking up feeling short of breath and just exhausted, her doctor revealed something pretty startling. Her cozy, safe position was actually, quietly, suffocating her body. And here's why. The National Sleep Foundation points out that when your knees are pulled up that close to your chest, your diaphragm gets compressed, and that limits how much oxygen you can take in. A spine specialist, Dr. Leonard Hayes, puts it really bluntly. He says sleeping too curled up is like spending the night teaching your body to shrink. Now, this next one might actually surprise you. Lying flat on your back with no support. For decades, a lot of doctors called this the soldier position, and they praised it for keeping your spine healthy. But it turns out, especially for older adults, the truth is a lot more complicated and a lot more dangerous. Let's talk about Mr. Robert, a 74-year-old veteran. He slept like a soldier his entire life, but his wife started noticing these long, scary pauses in his breathing. So they saw a sleep specialist, who delivered a really shocking diagnosis: severe obstructive sleep apnea. His airway was literally closing up to 30 times every hour. So here's the key thing to understand. When you lie completely flat without any support, gravity can actually cause your tongue to fall back and block your airway. The American Academy of Sleep Medicine says this can increase your risk of a stroke or heart attack by over 60%. And on top of that, it makes acid reflux way worse, which is something nearly half of all adults over 65 deal with. And finally, let's talk about the 4th worst position: sleeping in a recliner. I know for a lot of people, it starts out as a comfortable place to rest those aching joints, but it can so easily turn into a permanent and pretty dangerous bed. There's Mrs. Dorothy, who's 79. She found that her recliner was the only place she could get to sleep without her hip pain flaring up. But then, over time, she started to notice her legs were swelling up and her energy was just gone. Her own words say it all, really. I thought I was resting, but I was slowly shutting down.
And a geriatric specialist, Dr. Michael Turner, explains why. Sleeping in that semi-sitting position actually restricts blood flow to your legs, which raises the risk of blood clots. Not only that, but it also prevents your spine from ever fully relaxing, and it limits those deep, healing sleep cycles that your body absolutely needs to recover.
So all of this brings us to a really important question, right? If the positions that feel the most comfortable can actually be so bad for us, what are we supposed to do? How can we sleep safely? Well, don't worry. Now we're going to get into the solutions. And the good news is there are definitely solutions. So now we're going to cover 4 better ways to sleep. And these are simple but really powerful adjustments you can literally make tonight for a much healthier tomorrow. Okay, so better position number 1 is the supported side sleep. It's so simple. All you do is lie on your left side, stick a pillow between your knees, and just make sure your head is lined up with your spine. A retired firefighter, Mr. Allen, he tried this and cut his back pain almost in half in just 2 weeks. It's no wonder doctors call this one the alignment saver. But what if you're a back sleeper? Well, the key here is elevation. Just look at the difference. Sleeping flat lets your airway collapse and makes acid reflux worse. But if you just elevate your upper body a little and put a pillow under your knees, boom, your airway stays open and your back can finally relax. A retired teacher, Mrs. Linda, said this simple change was what finally let her breathe easier through the night. Okay, our third better position is called the starfish. And yeah, it might look simple, but it's one of the most restorative ways for your body to rest. Just lying on your back with your arms gently spread out lets your shoulders open up and your chest expand. It's honestly like nature's reset button for your entire upper body. So, according to Harvard Medical School, this posture actually improves blood flow to your upper spine, it can reduce tension headaches, and even helps prevent nerve impingement, that numbness and tingling. Miss Carol, a retired nurse, she tried it and said, "For the first time in years, I woke up without feeling my age. How amazing is that?" And finally, we have what a lot of geriatric specialists are now calling the true sweet spot of senior sleep. It's the 45-degree side recline. It basically combines the comfort you get from side sleeping with all the health benefits of elevation. A former truck driver, Mr. Walter, found this was the position that finally relieved his pain and his reflux, letting him wake up clear-headed for the first time in ages. So, the really crucial takeaway from all of this is pretty simple. Sleep is not just a passive state. It's an active process. It's recovery, it's renewal. And the position you choose, that determines just how effectively your body can heal and repair itself while you're sleeping. The truth is really simple, but it's also incredibly powerful. Your body is listening while you sleep, and a tiny change, just a pillow or a gentle incline, can be the difference in waking up with more strength, with more clarity. So the final question is, tonight, how will you choose to wake up tomorrow?